you worked for RBC,
Yes, I did.
Royal Bank of Canada?
Yes, yes. They were here as RBTC, Royal Bank of Trinidad and Tobago. They were Canadian owned, then it was owned by Trinidad and Tobago, then rebought. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's such
That
a
was
small
many
world.
years ago. Yeah, you also worked there?
I didn't work there, but I mean, there's one right around the corner from where I'm sitting right now,
Yes.
and it's been a fixture in Canada, right, for as long as I can remember.
Yes.
So yeah, it's one of the few big banks here. Yeah.
Indeed. A lot of my colleagues that I met when I just joined the internal audit department, quite a few of them would have transitioned to RBC in Canada as well.
Oh, really?
So,
okay. So were you in audit at RBC?
yes.
Is that where you learned the ropes of auditing?
Yes, indeed. That's why I got such a huge appreciation of the entire business. I started off on the front line, the retail sector, so I wasn't in audit. So that's all you knew. But then when you went into internal audit, you realized, oh my gosh, the business is so much bigger than that. There's so much more to do. So, and at that time, they were going through a huge business transformation project, and we were quite fortunate to participate in that project and also learn from there. There were a large number of external consultants. We were quite fortunate to get that experience and exposure as well.
Mm-hmm. And you chose to move into internal audit, right?
Yes.
And what a great choice, because it somehow gets in your DNA, don't you think?
Yeah, it does. Because when you the first 6 months that I started, I learned so much. It's like, wow, this is fascinating. I want to do more. I want to learn more, and that inspired me to do my CIA. I said, okay, you want the credentials for it because you're learning how to do it on the job, but you must have the certification for it, and from since then, I just never looked back, So.
And I remember, at the time, my journey into internal audit, and I think, it started right in university. I have a degree in honors chartered accountancy studies. So I studied accounting, auditing, and tax back in university. And I left audit and then found myself back because I think somehow there's this whole thing that keeps happening. And it's like you can take, I always say that you can take the girl out of audit, but you can't take audit out of the girl,
Oh.
It just becomes part of who you are. So there you go.
Yes. I think it's just one of the professions where you learn so much and you just never stop learning. There's always something else, always some way that you can contribute in internal audit. There's always an emerging risk, a new risk that's coming out that you need to keep up to date on, And then, of course, the IA provides you, they so quickly provide you with all these materials that you want to learn more. You want to contribute to your profession as well. So it's incredible.